Of my single bed, we'll share the same room, yeah. Put your profile of bread. Is this love? Is this love?
Welcome to the people still clocking in, logging in. Welcome.
Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling?
Saying greetings, Dr. Yvonne Thomas. Outside Dave, J-Map. Greetings to Lyndon. Orvieto, hope I pronounced that right. Josephine, good evening. Evening, Jacqueline. Looking in party spirit with, I don't know what's that on your head. What is that? What's going on there? All right, party style. Oh, Halloween business.
Every day and every night we'll be together.
Evening, Estella.
With the roof right up.
Evening, Papa. Evening, Donna, Tonya.
Of my single bed, we'll share the same room. Yeah. Put your profile of bread. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling?
Out to all the shy ones with their camera off. Nice to have you here anyway. Love to see your faces.
Oh yes, I know, yes, I know, yes, I know now.
No pressure, no pressure. VW, Louisa Johnson.
Oh yes, I know, yes, I know, yes, I know.
Somay.
I'm willing and able.
Welcome to Fiona. Hotel Fiona.
Throw my cards on your table.
Right, she got headphones on now. Welcome, Fiona. Yes.
I love you. I wanna love and treat you. Love and treat you.
Greetings to Loxley.
I wanna love you. Every day and every night we'll be together.
Yes. DJ Croc from One Nation, just bringing it in nice and easy. With nice vibration, all right? All courtesy of Pat and Brother Dave said they wanted to open the proceedings with some barber. Dave was like, yeah, man, run is this love, man. Run that, run that.
For real.
All right, this was also requested. Let's run one more. Pat, you let me know when you're ready to start the proceedings. Until then, we're just going to play some music, all right? Another one that was requested. One from the King. All to those who know this one, we should all know the words to this, right? Right? We all know the words, right?
Yes.
Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing
these songs
of freedom is all I ever have.
Sing it.
Redemption songs, redemption songs, emancipation.
One more time. Sounds of the King, Bob Marley. Still saying greetings to everyone arriving into the event. If you've just come, welcome.
All pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant friendships, minutes after they took I from the bottomless
Are we still
pit.
sounding all right out there? Are we sounding okay out there?
And was made strong
Fantastic, thank you.
by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds.
Still saying greetings to everyone arriving.
For atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop.
Inside the event, if you've just come, welcome.
How long shall they kill our prophets?
Saying greetings and welcome.
We stand aside and look.
Mr. Thompson, welcome. Mr. T.
The part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing
Hope I haven't missed anybody else.
these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have.
Good evening to Tracy and Michelle Johnson.
Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Redemption songs.
Just playing some music to warm up the proceedings, all right?
Here is a story told to the children of Africa.
Black History Month, UCLH.
Teaching the children.
Here's one from Chronix. In the spirit of Black History Month.
Oi. Black eye, black hair, black skin, black queen, stand majestic with the black king.
This is Chronix.
Today I'll sing you a black song. You need to hear about beautiful black things. Cause most time we hear about black, we hear about black magic and black witches. Blacklist, black book, black market, Black Friday, you spend off your black riches. I've never seen a doctor in black, nor seen a black pill for cure no black people. But I've seen bush doctors like Tash and Molly resurrect like a real black beetle. Malcolm, Marcus, Martin. When you see Walter Rodney, ask him how you not hear about our laughing. So when the little offspring asking, tell them they never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us black is beautiful. They never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us. They never told us that black is beautiful.
We're going to start to make a start.
Yes. All right, we're ready to make a start.
Ready to make a start. Thank you very much, Eden. I'm going to bring you back in, right? Because I want people to know who you are and what you've done.
No problem.
Yeah? So I'm going to bring you back in. I'm going to bring you back in soon. So I've got you here.
All right.
Guys, thank you all very much indeed for coming and joining this event, this final Unison Black members event that we have for Black History Month. Look, this is the last of the events that we have this month. Yeah? So this is the 6th event that we put on for you guys. So if it's your first time here, where have you been? And if you've been in before, welcome back. Yeah, so this is the 6th event. As we say, this is a running program, but we're looking out for more. So there will be more programs here, right? What this is, we've had a lot of quite heavy subjects. We dealt with a lot of heavy subjects during the month. We've dealt with things like mental health, we dealt with stress, we dealt with men's and women's issues. So what we thought was, for this last one, for the last day of Black History Month, we're going to celebrate Black excellence. Yeah, and we're going to celebrate the things that we do, the things that we hold tight to ourselves, the things that we hold dear. We're going to celebrate music. We're going to celebrate spoken word. We're going to celebrate business. So this is all about celebrating you, celebrating Black people, celebrating what we do. What I want to do is because there's been a lot of work put into this throughout the month. And I want to give a little shout out to Pat Isaacs, because as well as doing her day job, which I know Pat is working far too many hours anyway, but Pat has put a lot of work into this, right? She's got all the speakers, she's done everything. So she's put a lot of work into that. So I just want to give a little shout out to Pat, who's really gone above and beyond to put on this fantastic program this month. So Pat, from my heart, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Okay. What I'm going to have to do, we're going to have to, because we've had a program that's changed slightly, so I'm going to have to kick straight off now. And I think we're going to kick off with Dave. Is that right? Yeah?
Yes, yes, indeed.
So Dave, I'm going to give you the floor, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to allow you, please, if you don't mind, to introduce yourself, to tell people who you are. Yes,
wonderful. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for the great music, Mr. DJ. Excellent, you know what I mean? And I know there'll be more during the program. So I've been given 20 minutes. That's a long time for me. So I'm going to see if I can do a few poems, because that's what I was asked to do. But I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share some of you already probably would have known that I've taken up like a career in cartoons, drawing cartoons over lockdown, you know, creating these cartoon images. And I'm going to go through like a slideshow. I see that I have the ability to share screen. So I'm going to just do that now and then do 1 or 2 poems. Now, in the interim, because I have a 20-minute period of time here, feel free if anybody wants to ask any questions and type it up in the group chat. Feel free to do that. Feel free to do that, because regarding anything, either the cartoons or the poetry, and I mean, I can break off from either at any time and just kind of have a little discussion around that. All right, the cartoons first of all. Share screen, and then I think I can go straight into this keynote presentation. Everybody can see that? And because I have to, brilliant, and because I have to jump off early, because you know how it goes with these things, it's like whole heap of events and stuff. I put my contact there, so if anybody want to reach out regarding anything later, you know, some of this creativity and how you can get involved, and so great. All right, so basically that's the start of it. That's one of the cartoons. Let's go straight into it. I decided to really kind of chart this whole kind of lockdown period, and I decided we're going to start with, you know, yeah, that's a good way to do it, right? Good. These guys got the blame a lot, you know, and so they get the blame, and it's always, you know, we kind of just try and see if we can shift the blame a little bit. So I did a cartoon about them, you know, and then I tried to use them to have a comment on us, to say, you know, they're blaming us, but you know what I mean? It's human beings really destroying the planet from since, of course, the medical profession became very important. So you know, some of you know that the statue of Mercy Code is now at the St. Thomas Hospital. So I just dropped that in there, you know, I dropped that drawing of that. That's what the statue kind of thing. By the way, I'm no artist, but you know, just kind of like, we all have an artistic flair, and put on our quotes, Mercy Code, the doctress, as she called herself. Then that's the one in my background as well. And, you know, wearing of mask came in, and I said, if you go wear a mask, you might as well advertise something on it. And so what might as well put in a African Adinkra sign, and you know, this is the Guinea, which is the supremacy of God. I fear no one but God, you know. So, you know, again, you know, my drawings and my art is I would say improving, is progressing, and I develop a style, you know. Then some of you remember right at the beginning, the Queen gave a speech, Queen of England, Elizabeth II gave a speech. And I thought, who is another queen who we know about, you know, and say, all right, let me just draw Aretha Franklin, who is referred to the Queen of Soul, and just put one of her quotes. And as you can read it there, and what it says, you know, that quote there is about, you know, it's about the contribution to the community is as much of what makes you royal, you know, your contribution to the community. And then, again, church lockdown, but I want to, you know, do not cross, you can't go in there, building closed, but the church itself still open. The church as a concept, you know, the church is not in a building, the church is a concept of love and sharing and, you know, all of this stuff, good stuff, generosity and, you know, that kind of thing, golden rule, all that stuff. It's still open, those principles still open. And then now we talked about this, this was, you know, this one is about representing both genders, you know, you have a male on one side, female on the other side, and they just put the mask there again. And then really it was about pushing the mask, the wearing of the mask. So I put there, avoid the malady and maintain the melody of mind and body by exercising in motion with healthy nutrition and mental devotion, you know. And I say, a homemade mask upon your face extend mercy, receive grace. You know, kind of thing. Because when you wear your mask, you're extending mercy and you're receiving grace from others who wearing masks. But also the glasses, you can see in her spectacles, the R number, R less than 1, R on one side, less than 1. You know, keeping the R number down, you know, kind of thing, the reproductive number down. And then I did a whole series on these because I thought people couldn't really see the glasses. So I just draw it properly on this side. But then the R number is the effective reproduction number, is measuring how the disease spread. And then I said, but also the R can also, the same is true, just so you want to keep down the reproduction of this disease. Same is true for R, for racism. You want to keep it down, stifle it to 0 so that it don't reproduce, because racism cannot reproduce. I'm just trying to send those messages down. And then say, keep the R approaching 0, let it go to 0. Same true for racism. Keep it down, suppress it. Let's get rid of it, you know what I mean? And then again, you know, this whole thing, you know, talking about COVID, this is when they were saying it disproportionately affect the Black community. And I was saying COVID's response was, no, I'm colorblind. It's colorblind. It's you guys are the racists. Don't blame me. I'm not racist. It's you. It's you, the way you organize society by exposing Black people more and so on. So I had it talking and it's, you know, developing a character in its own right. Again, using this, the world leaders kept saying to us, get your hands clean. And I'm saying the people are saying back to the world leaders, get your heart pure. You know, kind of thing, and just kind of these kind of messages, just draw them. Again, Stephen Lawrence Day came around on the 22nd of the 4th of April, and I thought, let me just kind of, you know, do this kind of like tribute to Stephen Lawrence. So I just put that up there. And then, you know, Easter came around, again, we're still in lockdown, and most people grew up in homes where you have a white Jesus on the wall, and you say, oh, you know what I mean? When you go to Lalibela and so on in Ethiopia, the original images of Jesus was Black. I mean, I said, boy, I'm going to resurrect that. You know, not just resurrection Sunday, but resurrecting the image and, you know, the more appropriate image of what Jesus would have looked like as a person in the Middle East walking around. And if he was able to go to Egypt to hide and seek refuge. And who is in Egypt? Nubian. So he'd be able to blend in. So, you know what I mean? All these things. I'm trying to send these sort of messages. And then picking up on different artists. So you have on this side where you have this character over here with the crown. That's like a resemblance of a Jean-Michel Basquiat. Jean-Michel Basquiat being the greatest graffiti artist that ever lived. So I kind of replicated one with it. And then Edvard Munch, who a European artist, who this famous image, the scream, you know, which is used. So now we kind of in lockdown and we kind of mentally challenged now. And they're talking about mask. And here's the Basquiat image handing over some mask and say, listen, I can share with you. And he said, thank you, sir. But that was Mental Health Week, Awareness Week. And the theme was kindness. So I'm representing kindness there by bringing two artists together from two different cultures and just merging that. And then you all remember the letter from Marcus Rashford, you know. So let me just put that there and just, definitely just commemorate again Marcus Rashford and what you can do with your celebrity and your privilege. Like, you know, sometimes people talk about white privilege, but we have privilege too. All of us in our community, we got privilege. It might be celebrity privilege, it might be financial privilege, it might be positional privilege, it might be you have some contacts, but we all have privilege. So here's a man who taking privilege and use it for a positive cause. I rate that. So just kind of do a little tribute to him. And then you heard the president of America talk about, injecting bleach that might help you. So I invented an organization called SIPH, which is SIPH stands for like the science inspiring public health. And then I wrote this kind of, this might look like a proper ruler paper, but I drew that and just say, you know, sending a letter to the president saying, yo, brethren, let me just tell you, that no work, you know, do not ingest. So, you know, don't mislead people. Do not ingest, do not inject, do not listen to advice and check. You know, just kind of like making these things into some kind of like just kind of public health warning, same way. And then now, you remember now, then we move forward. And then we had the lady in the park saying that I'm going to call the police on you, you know. I'll call the police on you because, you know, she was literally weaponizing racism. So there are 3 slides here. And the first one, I call it mendacity and the weaponization of racism in Central Park. Remember the black guy who's telling her, listen, you can't have your dog off a leash here. It's like you're breaking the law. And she said, I'm going to call the police and tell him it's an African-American. So here she was weaponizing racism. And on the same day, you have George Floyd being killed. So I call it impunity and bigoted homicide in Minneapolis. And then on the other side, now we have Martin Luther King talking, and a quote from Martin Luther King, all this stuff, you know. There comes a time when silence is betrayal, and that's when you started to hear people talk about, listen, we can't be talking about this thing of race, we can't be talking about this thing anymore. We're talking about non-racism, we are, we're having no racism, but actually you have to be anti-racist, you know, can't be non-racist, you got to be anti-racist. So just try to, recognize this period in time. And then, Martin Luther King represented there. Then here I have then George Floyd himself. And then I said, in this one, I kind of said, we are all George Floyd's mama. All of we are George. When him say mama, it's all of us. That's us. Male, female, whatever. He was crying out to the whole world. The entire world must respond to his final exhortation. That was his final exhortation. As a loving mother would, we have to insist and, come on for justice and persistence against racism. I started to send this out to the church because I realized that church needs to speak out. All bodies need to speak out. And I always was observing as a church goer, that church is always the last to speak out on social issues. So again, capturing this moment with Patrick Hutchinson and kind of tributing Patrick Hutchinson, this metaphor, you have the Patrick Hutchinson, I drew him in detail, you know what I mean? And say, yo, this is the man who pick up the person, and I just draw the character over him like it's a sack of potatoes. Like it's not really the most important thing. It's just like a weight, it's a burden. The fact that he was carrying that guy to his safety represents the burden that we've been through over hundreds of years. So it's a metaphor for the Black experience over 400 years, burdened on the heavy, sagging, dead weight of racism, yet still progressing, moving forward with dignity and humanity, which is what he represented, you know what I mean? So it's trying to use these images to kind of just evoke a sense of where we are and so on, And then I talk about a certain coronavirus and so on. The racist cop, I just put, Make America, because they caught him wearing that T-shirt, the guy who killed George Floyd, who was at a rally and so on. So I said, boy, I make it synonymous with the virus. And then I sent this message to the church. As I directly sent it to every vicar in Miss Webber, where I said places of worship may as well remain on lockdown if they only promote the practice of kneeling down to petition for material embellishment without embracing God's empowerment to stand up to racism in society, to stand against police brutality, to challenge the powerful who deride, to hold to account office holders who divide. We must supplicate as our brothers and sisters suffocate at the violent hands and knees of the savage reprobate. Work must model heaven's essence within our faith, or else faith will be dead without making a case. We must arrest evil and lock it down for good. Let the journals record a generation that stood for social justice, equity, humanity, and righteousness, and peace and love, not conforming to the world's patterns, but renewing minds to principles above. Sent that to the church and they published it. You know what I mean? And it started a conversation in some of the churches that I work in. I know I'm being invited to churches all over the place now to talk about anti-racism in the church and how the church itself, being a symbol of racial oppression over the hundreds of years, need to look at itself and tear down these barriers. And then, of course, this is the final. I just add this in, basically picking up on this. So I keep doing these things. And you know about Alexandra Wilson, who is the barrister who was challenged 3 times in a day whether she was a defendant and not working in the court. So I put this up there and I put a memo. I put a memo to all court officials and staff members. And I just made up this memo and said, Black people are routinely called to the bar of England and Wales. Please treat all people in court and indeed society with respect and dignity, as if anybody needed to be reminded of that. But clearly, the profession needed to be reminded of that. And so this is where we find ourselves, brothers and sisters. And I just feel like, look, I'm going to take up art. I'm going to take up everything I can take up to help, in this struggle. So I've come off the screen now. Let me check if I have any questions in here before. If I still have time, I'll read a poem, but if not, we can go on. Home stay. Any questions for Dave, the speaker? If I haven't used my time, I can drop in a poem. If not, where am I? Feel free to interrupt, Pat. Tell me.
They were just, okay, look, I thought that was fascinating. I love the way you
leave it there. Yeah.
around you. Yeah, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
So
Yeah.
I love the way you use the things around you, right, to inspire you to make a comment, a social comment on what's going on. But not only that, you're proactive. You're sending this stuff out. People are listening to it. I think that's fantastic. Now, can I ask out there, do we have any questions? Now, what I don't need you guys to do is to be shy at this point. As I said, this is a final event for Black History Month. Any questions out there for David Tor? Anything at all you wanna say?
Can we hear a poem, please?
A poem?
Sure. All right.
Time?
Yeah, I'm happy to do a poem, you know. Let me choose a poem that I think might be apt for today. Because some of you already, and I recognize so many names online, and some of you already have me. All right, I'm gonna do a poem, I'm gonna do it with drama. I do this poem with drama. This poem is not exactly on the Black History Month theme, but I'm gonna do a performance for everybody right now. This poem is called Only Mother. It's dedicated to our mothers, right? Individually. But it's also dedicated to the one mother who we all share. All of us share this one common mother, and that is Mother Earth. All right, it goes like this. All right. Not to worry, it's only mother. Use fuel like it's free. Not to worry, it's only mother. More plastic in the sea. Not to worry, it's only mother. Continue to deplete the ozone. After all, whose world is it? It is ours to dominate and to own. Not to worry, it's only mother. Ignore the melting polar ice cap. Ignore your fears. Forget your cares. The polar bears need no habitat. Not to worry, it's only mother. Just get rid of the Paris Agreement. Promote dirty factories with no regulation and a great deal of appeasement. Not to worry, it's only mother. Endangered species do not matter. Not to worry, it's only mother. The trees are better off as paper. Not to worry, it's only mother. There's absolutely no need to recycle. Mix all your waste, drive a gas guzzler, and forget about the bicycle. Not to worry, it's only mother. Don't reduce or reuse. Enlightenment and responsibility, you have a right to refuse. Not to worry, it's only mother. She's not looking all the time. Not to worry, it's only mother. She's getting old and weary, but she's doing just fine. Not to worry, it's only mother. No need for veneration. Posterity is a fallacy. We're the very last generation. Not to worry, it's only mother. Let's consume all her resources. Not to worry, it's only mother. She will not stop our greedy forces. Not to worry, it's only mother. She will never leave us alone. Her duty is to serve us as we sack her sacred throne. She'll never leave us or forsake us. She'll never let us be. Not to worry, it's only mother. Use her fuel like it's free. Not to worry, it's only mother. She'll always care. She'll always be there. Mother, mom, mama, not to worry. She's still there. She must be there somewhere. Thank you. That's the point. Thank you very much for listening.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And
very much indeed, guys. And now you guys got a quick chance, yeah? So if you have any questions at all for Dave,
or comments, questions or comments,
or any
anything that
comments
strike your occur
you want to say. So speak up now or hold your peace, yeah? Anything out there? I thought that was absolutely fantastic.
Just wanted to say thanks for the poem. I love the pictures and the way you interpret them, but thanks for the poem as well. Very poignant. Especially the mother thing.
Mama.
Thank you.
Respect.
Love that.
Yeah, man. Thanks for it. So okay,
David,
where can people see your work, Dave?
My work is usually
you have exhibitions and things like that.
Always put my stuff out on Twitter more time, and I gave it that account handle there at Poetry Lawyer, and I just WhatsApp it into groups sometimes, and sometimes performing events like these and so on. So if you follow me on Twitter, one of them things, you know, you can just keep up to date and so on, connect with each other, support each other. But yeah, I'm out there. And this thing is coming out in a book. It actually made it into an international legal journal, and it's now gonna come out in a book. So that's it really. So, you know, but listen, thank you guys. I'm gonna have to shoot on, but I mean, seriously, I like to see it for the entirety of these things, but already drop out of something else which I have to drop back in. And it's good, Pat, that you're doing a fantastic job, and all people supporting you. Good to see you all. One love. Blessings, everybody. One love.
Thank you so much, Dave. Much appreciated. Right. Thank you.
Thank you. And what we're going to do now, we have a renowned DJ in the house. DJ, I'm going to bring you back in. Yeah? But
yes, sir.
We want to hear about you as well, yeah?
Okay, what you want to know? My name is DJ Croc. Croc is short for crocodile. It's a long story nickname I had from I was a child. Representing One Nation. One Nation, we are a brand that promotes unity through music, unity and healing through music. Obviously, we've not been very active over the past few months because of the lockdown and everything, but that is the essence of what we are about. If you want more information, we're on all the regular social media platforms under One Nation UAG, all letters, One Nation UAG. UAG stands for Under a Groove. That might help you to remember it. So One Nation UAG on all the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole nine, or DJ Croc UK. That's pretty much me. My bio is long. I won't bore you with it.
and DJ, we've had
my first one of these events. So
first of many.
Yes, absolutely. I'm loving it. So I was really looking forward to coming onto this when I spoke to Pat about it today, and Lise today as well. So yeah, hopefully this will be the first of many. Loving it.
And already we've got one request in, right? For Night Nurse. You ready?
Oh, wow. Yeah, man, we got that. Of course.
Yeah.
Grew up with Night Nurse. How could I not have Night Nurse?
All right.
How could I not have Night Nurse?
We'll see about getting these tunes out there if you got.
Hadi. Loxley, it's me, Hadi.
Hadi. Hi.
Night Nurse.
Huh?
What's that one?
I request Night Nurse.
Oh, you requested. Was that Pat?
No, Hadi.
Oh, okay. No problem. So we definitely got Night Nurse. Loxley, we're gonna play some music and then bring in the next.
Let's play a bit of music, Paddy, and then let's bring in the next speaker. Yeah.
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 All right. Cool. Well, as we just had a request, why not? Let's go there. In fact, you know, I want to play the original version, because that was a remix with Euro. So let's play the original. I'll tell you what, it's nice to be playing these kind of music. Love it.
Tell her try your best just to make it quick. Pour my chin to the sick.
Now, when you hear these music playing, you know, I expect to see like people singing because they haven't heard this for so long. I expect to see every lips moving, people just looking at me like, what's this? I don't recognize this song. What's going on here?
I'm sorry, but I listened to it yesterday in my car.
Who's that talking?
That's H. Michelle Johnson. I was listening to that
Johnson.
whole album in my car yesterday.
Then
for your
I definitely
information.
expect to see you singing then. I definitely expect you to see you singing then.
It's classic.
Make sure you mute first, because the lag is the real thing to do.
Cause there must be something she can do. This heart is broken in two.
Shout out to Lise.
Tell her it's a case of emergency.
There she is. Evening, evening.
By the name of Gregory.
All right, let me see everybody's lips. Everybody, everybody, everybody.
Night nurse. Only you alone can quench this your thirst.
Once again, one more time.
My night nurse.
Lovely.
Oh gosh. Oh, the pain is getting worse. I don't wanna see no doctor. I need attendance from my nurse around the clock. 'Cause there's no prescription for me. She's the one, the only remedy. Night nurse. Only you alone can quench this thirst. My night nurse.
Sounds of Gregory Isaacs. It is indeed a classic, as Michelle said. And as it's Black History Month, we're going to play another classic. Remember this one? In the spirit of Black History Month, playing another classic. You know the words, right?
Black is the color of my skin. Black is the light that
Hold tight, Fiona. Bobbing in her chair.
and I'm so proud to be the color that God made me.
Hold tight, Estella. We see you singing. All right, what do you say?
Black is my
All right, I'm going to keep it moving because we've got a lot of artists to get through this evening. So I'm going to play one more, going out to a friend of mine who passed away recently, Ty. It's a beautiful track, so fitting. The lyrics are still fitting, so I want to play this one. Take a listen. Again, in the spirit of Black History Month, speaking to the times, check the lyrics.
In these hard times, try to hold on to what's right. Seems the more you try, the harder it gets.
R.I.P. Ty.
We're still fighting the good fight, still fighting for our rights.
Say good evening to Shirley.
Somebody please stand up. All this turmoil and confusion, man-made disasters, the pollution. Surely this is an illusion. Is it the end? We've said it again and again. And we've taken all the beauty from the land. Lord knows this wasn't his plan. What's become of man?
Full time Samantra.
What's become of man? What you gonna do? What you gonna say? How you gonna live? How you gonna get? How you gonna get away? Where you gonna hide? Gotta keep in mind, there's no place to run.
Saying good evening to Natalie Morgan, Jonathan. Evening to Black Butterfly, Abba, Sharon, VW, and Donna. Good evening, welcome.
Okay, everybody.
Yes, are we ready to go again?
Yeah, ready to go. There's going to be a lot more music for you out there, yes? So
No
wait
problem.
There will be a lot more. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in Mr. Andrew Thompson, yeah, and Mark Andrew Thompson. And Mark, before I bring you in, I'm going to introduce you, yeah? I'm going to give you a quick introduction so people know you are. Southeast London born and bred Mark is an Anglo-Jamaican poet, educator, and actor who started performing spoken word and using it to facilitate workshops on culture, identity, and poetics before he published Mixed Messages in 2009. He has been heard live as far afield as Johannesburg and has been featured in venues from Hackney Empire to the Paralympics, as well as on BBC One, BBC 4, Radio 4, and Choice FM. Yeah. So Mark, can I ask you, take it away, please, my friend?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. You had me worried then. When he said Andrew Thompson, I'm like, is there another? Thompson's such a common name. But yeah, you always have to check when it's when they say Mr. Thompson, you should never assume it's you. There could be another half a dozen of us. Yeah, that can be a complicated business, which is why I have the Mr. T as my middle name. At the time I first started doing poetry, there was a guy who was the Director General of the BBC called Mark Thompson. And because I didn't want to be confused with him, because obviously every time I get stopped by the police, they say, "Oh, you look like somebody familiar," and they always think it's the Director General of the BBC, but no, maybe it's not the reason. But yes, so Mr. T, I've been doing this for some time, and I've had to follow David before, and he's always rushing off to somewhere else, and he never, I swear, he never gets to hear my set, and I always get to hear his stuff, which I love. But it's like I want to share, which I should have said in the chat, but never mind. He was rushing, and I wanted to give you time, space, and a chance to respond. So yes, I am a poet, a teacher, and an actor. I do all sorts of bits and pieces. Anything to avoid holding down the kind of proper jobs that we need you people to be doing in order to keep us alive. And a big shout out to all the frontline staff and all the staff that are one step behind the front line, because the frontline staff can't survive without the people that are doing the jobs behind them too. I think sometimes, they've got to this point where they're putting some people on pedestals and not realizing, that the cleaner is just as vital to all of these situations as the surgeon. Yes, it's a shame that the pay packet can't also reflect that. Let me stop waffling and do a poem. Because the reason that I write poetry is because it makes me say things more clearly, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. It's kind of it comes from this book, which I don't really need to show you the book because the book won't show up because it's the same color as the background, because it is the background. But this one is kind of the inspiration behind the cover of the book, and the name for my publishing company was the Cultural Chameleon Press, which was based on this piece, which I will share now. I am a cultural chameleon, a lyrical social comedian. I felt I had no choice but to change my voice to appear average by mean, mode, or median. I've studied hard to fit in and be cool for as long as I've been able to speak, although not to stand out at my school, I had to learn to talk common, not Latin or Greek. Me have to pick up my patois in conversation in the darker than medium too, because if you're not first generation, it might not come naturally to you. I've delved deep in all sides of my history, something I believe every person should do, because if where you come from is a mystery, can you be sure that your heading is true? So to stories of Romans and Boudica, I add Maroons, Garvey, and Shaka Zulu, and ensure the light of the Lady of the Lamp never obscures Mary's sequel from view. My cultural heritage is both Black and British, and yet some really do seem to feel that my need to pay subs to both these cultural clubs is somehow less than real. Like some BNP or National Front, jumped up runt, son of an Enoch Powell influenced ignorant grunt who wants us all to go back to our culturally correct historical homes. But hold on. Mine's split by over 5 hours of time, and that's a little harder to straddle than a couple of travel card zones. Forget that this patriot's queen is Franco-German. The suggestion of this lunatic is the place I should feel most at home in is floating somewhere over the mid-Atlantic. One toe down in London town, the other in Kingston, poor wretch. Better put me on the rack right now. Come your legs, them just stretch. Me left side is waiting for me breakfast, see. When me right side just had me lunch. I guess if I'm confused, stuck in between, I could always just do brunch. But from that lofty spot, I could appreciate many artists that help shape our current worldview. Great bards like Tough Gong and Billy Waggadagger. Oh, known as Marley and Shakespeare to you. The Windrush might appear through time's mist to me, as it answered the mother country's call. Those aboard unbowed by their history, each one with a right to stand proud and tall. Slave routes back to Africa would be visible too, a journey so many did not survive. Britannia's involvement is shameful, it's true, but I'm so proud that I am alive, for my DNA's very existence is a testimony to my ancestors' persistence and my parents' tolerance. Even when surrounded by overwhelming ignorance, it is a unique blend of Aboriginal British bloodlines and those of the invited immigrants. So yes, I am a cultural chameleon, a lyrical social comedian, and now, by choice, I change my voice to appear more than average by mean, mode, or medium. Thank you. And the crowd goes wild. You can make noise. You can, clicking is very appropriate at this poetry event. Those of you that are unmuted, if you want to join in on the chat, you can actually type a little C we take as a click, and a capital C we have as a clap. And there's been a lot of online poetry events over the last few months, as you can imagine, since all of us poets have been finding it hard to get out. I see, yeah, thank you, DJ Croc, getting into, people typing the whole of clicks. Again, you see, us poets, we're minimalists. We believe you've got to use as little words as possible, or in this case, a fraction of a word. So thank you. I can see some smiling faces and some positivity. I've got the physical clicks. You can do that too. That's all good. That's all good. Okay. Yeah. So 2020, Black History. I can't get all of Black History into October, and I ain't gonna try, because you know what? It don't fit. We don't just exist over the last year. We don't just exist over the, what is it now? We're getting, we got 70 years since Windrush was 48. So I said, what, we're on 72 years for that. It doesn't just even exist since the first Black Briton of record, which is John Blank, who was a trumpeter in the court of Henry VIII in 1500 something or other, or Septimus Severus, the Roman emperor who is buried somewhere near York, who was a Black man living in this country. There's been Black people in this country for time, and one of the things I love to talk to, I don't get to talk to racists very much, but one of the things I always like to point out to them is the earliest known remains of a human being in this country was Cheddar Man. Cheddar Man, who had curly hair. I used to have curly hair. I'm afraid genetics has got the better of the hair, but you know, what can I say? But curly hair, brown skin and blue eyes. So yeah, the earliest Brits, the ones that all these white people are descended from, looked a damn sight more like me than they did any member of the BNP. So when I want to tell people, oh, you should go back home to places where, you know, where the people look like you, I'm like, oh boy, people looking like me been here longer than you. So yes, Black History 2020, it's been an interesting one. 2020, it's been bizarre. At the start of this year, I was working as a supplier as the poetry and the acting, all the other stuff, and I was very, very lucky that at the point that it kicked off, I had a job, and they could have turned around to me and said, well, we don't need you, so you don't get paid, but I actually continued to get paid. So I realized I was very fortunate, but for me, it became, I had a paid sabbatical. Although I say I had a paid sabbatical, it did start 3 days later, after the schools had closed. I did actually get the COVID symptoms, and I was one of the lucky people who got the very mild version. Although because my wife has had leukemia and a bone marrow transplant, I had to be incredibly cautious. So it was 25 days locked in a room because I wasn't following the UK government advice. I looked at what the World Health Organization was telling us and had 10 days after symptoms before I went anywhere near somebody who was so compromised. I know some of you guys will be aware of what that means. My wife is very well. I think I should do that poem next, or that combination of poems. Then I'll go back into some more 2020 stuff. So let me tell you about this girl that I've known for some time. Little more than kids when we first met, but I always knew that she was fine. Streetwise and cool, this fly girl kept her head down in school. Sure, she was feisty and feisty, but she was nobody's fool. Intelligence in abundance may have led her to a little impatience, but when I look at her today, boy, she's come a long way since. She's looking even better than I can ever remember, developed a touch of control over the fiercest of tempers, found direction and purpose to channel her mind without ever forgetting how to have a good time. Her heart is guarded by caution, guided by wisdom, inspired by an intense family love of immense proportion. Now she's my wife. It's my honor to obey and protect her, though it would take the rest of my life to say how much I respect her. With the love of friends and family, she overcame this once before. New hurdles then to leap with me. She'd overcome these too, we were sure, until we found she needed something we simply could not lend. So with words like these, we sought support from an unrelated and back then an unknown friend. Help beyond the many products of blood already gratefully received. This new friend's very bone marrow was required if she was to be relieved. A brief blood test would be the start of a whole new lease of life and the times of tribulation for the inspiration that is my wife. Her donor could be short or tall, rich or poor, it's all the same to us. Only speak in the Queen's English or in the patois of Jamaica. Cuss. Rabbit in the rhyming slang of Cockneys, or Ganon in Geordie vernacular. We don't care where they have traveled from. No distance is too far. They could have themselves a PhD or not even know how to spell. Use of deodorant, unimportant. Donated stem cells are never judged by their smell. The risks to them are minimal, the possibilities immense, the opportunity to positively change the world in a truly tangible sense. This friend's gift is so amazing. They are a lifesaver, it's true. But the thing that's most amazing is there might be a lifesaver in each and every one of you. Thank you. And that's particularly going out to the little ones. I see we have a younger member of the Isaacs family there. Please, as soon as you get to 16, get permission from your parents. You can go and join the bone marrow register and become a blood donor at the age of 18. These are all things that we need.
She's 31.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
that's a compliment. That's a compliment.
You're right in the corner. You look, yeah, sorry. Well, you see, black don't crack, innit?
She's still a baby of the family, though, so it's all good.
16.
You know what? I'm reading the body language just to see it's the relationship I'm seeing. So I'm just gonna keep digging. Yeah, let me know when I get to Australia.
Don't dig any more than you have to.
Okay. All right. She look... Help me out here, people. She look young in this picture.
It's a compliment now. It's a compliment.
Thank you,
Okay.
but I'm like,
a blessing.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. We're going to now bring it back on track. Okay, so thank you, Mark.
Okay, moving back. So yeah, 2020. It's been a weird one. Sometimes the things that have motivated me have been, the things we've seen from our front line, from those people on the front line, and some of the poems that I wrote early on after I was, after I'd recovered from the COVID, were very much related to that. I think I'm gonna do one of those, assuming I can find it easily. And one of the things that I ended up doing was recording a lot of things, writing them and literally recording them within a day so that I could get them out really, really quickly. And I was able to do that by using a teleprompting app, which kind of records you at the same time. So I'm using that to play back some of these. This one was from that period, and it's called 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, the Tories dribble poison in my ears, trying hard to hide their perma smirks. They giggle at our fears, trumpeting as triumphs all the targets they've not met. They twist the truth like Wicker Man in the hope we'll all forget that they failed to act in time to protect our brave front line, and they watched the death toll climb while they told us we were fine, but we weren't, and we're not. And some of us won't ever be again. But at 5 o'clock, they're back with another pack of lies. And at 5, they all just talk numbers as yet another family cries because their loved ones weren't protected and our country wasn't led. And so to this indiscriminate killer, our migrants and our working class are fed. Seems our elders are expendable as they're worth less than they cost. But it's our dignity and our history that along with them are lost. They may remember victory in Europe like it was just yesterday, but when Boris was balancing his budget, that just didn't hold much sway, because like Kitchener before him, he only counts his flock by the head. No understanding of the grief and suffering of all those thousands dead, for we are just factory fodder, here to grease the wheels of industry, I've heard. And to the Tories, our cities are not so much peopled as filled with an urban herd. And at 5 o'clock, the Tories dribble poison in my ear. Trying hard to hide their perma-smirks, they giggle at our fears, trumpeting as triumphs all the targets we've not met. They twist the truth like Wicker Man in the hope we'll all forget that they failed to act in time to protect our brave front line. And as they watched the death toll climb, while they told us we were fine, we weren't, and we're not. And some of us won't ever be again. Rest in peace, Ty. So yes. Not all of it was cheerful, and unfortunately, probably the lowest moment was watching that film that filled our tiny little screens at silly times in the morning in the middle of
Sorry,
of this year.
You have a couple of minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll do this one, and you let me know if that's all the time we've got. Has that been 20 minutes? Wow, it flies past. This is called We Didn't Want to Watch. We didn't want to watch, but this film cast the world as extras. No speaking role for us, just places on the sidewalk from where we could not talk. Simply the silent witnesses, the scenes that should not be seen. I said, simply the silent witnesses, the scenes that should not be seen, but they were. And now we are all haunted by the breathless last of the life that passed beneath the knee. Oh, to be clear, we are all sure this has happened before, but this crime we got to see. And this time, the guilt just could not be any clearer. And in that moment, we could not feel any nearer or any more powerless. And as the words of reason poured from round about us, we could tell that they fell on deaf ears. And the darker amongst us saw our darkest fears. Our ancestral mothers above us cried even more tears for yet another soul they would see too soon. But without doubt, what truly marked this out as a chalk line for change is how reason went unheard. Those that were there had spoken the words that we would have spoken if they had been us, if we had had the chance to cuss 2 bad words in his defense, because we know, as their actions show, all the words in the world could have made no impact on their indifference. This is why fists everywhere have been raised in defiance, yes, raised in the air past many a tear-streaked cheek of those who now refuse to be so meek and mild. Man, our anger is wild, and like your shame, these words proclaim there's a chance our anger may never be tamed. But let me take a minute to breathe, because that is one privilege which I still have. We've seen some try to shatter Malcolm and Dr. Martin's dreams under jackboots that wish to stomp on the green shoots that grow from the grassroots, who know these 3 words to be true: Black lives matter. As to what happens next, people, that's up to you. Thank you.
Thank you very
I have
much.
so much more I could share, but I don't have the time.
Where
was that actually 20 minutes, Loxy?
That was 20 minutes. You just, that was brilliant. But I want to know, where can people see you? Where can they get a hold of your stuff? Where can they, if people want to check out your stuff, where can they do that?
No problem. I'm signed in with my Instagram handle as and tag is next to me. So Mark Mr. T Thompson, IG Mark T 1973. Yes, I'm older than I look too. You're not the only one out there. At Mark T 1973. You can also find me on, I have a website, which is the Cultural Chameleon Press, based on that piece, which is theccpress.co.uk. I can type that into the chat in case anybody wants to find that.
Please do.
I am on Twitter, but I don't really do it. Instagram's the best place to follow me.
Okay, thank you very, very much indeed. And once again, all I can see is click, 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 and finger snap. So that's fantastic. Really appreciate it. We are, I think, running ahead quite nicely. So what I want to do now is, thank you very much once again, Marcus. Go straight in to Fiona. Fiona, are you here?
I am. Oh.
Yeah,
Hi.
Fiona. Okay, right. Thank you. Fiona Harvey. Yeah, so general manager at UCLH for 10 years. And Fiona, you're an artisan. Yeah, so you've always been a creative. So you're going to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. Evening, everybody. So yeah, as Loxy says, I'm Fiona Harvey. I'm a general manager at UCLH. Started at the Eastman in 2010 when the wonderful Jackie saw something special in me and employed me. And then moved on after 5 years to the RNT&E, but it's now merged as one division. So I've always dabbled in knitting, crocheting, sewing, embroidery, all that kind of stuff that I was kind of forced to learn, I guess, by my mother. I was the only girl with 3 brothers, and they also had to learn to crochet. And I do remember back in the in the 70s having some very strange nylon type wool. It wasn't really wool, it was made of nylon. And we used to make our bags, our pump bags, as we called them, for our primsoles. So always crocheted, enjoyed doing blankets, that type of stuff. But during COVID, I kind of took a slight turn because there was all the awareness of how we had to protect ourselves. So I kind of started making a few masks and then posted a few, and lo and behold, people were ordering masks from me. And I thought, oh, you know, this is kind of fun. And then another thing I started doing was I reverted to natural hair some years ago, and quite conscious that this has to be protected. So one of the Saturdays I was just at home, I made a few masks and I thought, oh, I'm going to make myself a bonnet. The bonnet was supposed to be something to sleep in. As many of you women will know, we either wear a tied, as we refer to it, or a scarf, a satin bonnet or something. So I then created a satin bonnet and then combined it with a head wrap. Posted that on Instagram, had no idea what I was doing. So the children kind of helped me, and a couple of my colleagues who I know are online tonight showed me, and that created some interest from a few people saying, oh, you know, do you make those to order, etc. So I thought, why not? So I went off and got myself some fabric and costed everything up, and then my little business was born. So I'm affectionately known as Miss Fee, a name given to me by my lovely partner and friends. So I decided that my company name was going to be Seams, because what I was producing as this bonnet then kind of becomes a head wrap. So I thought I wanted something simple, elegant and majestic. So Seams by Miss Fee. So I'm currently in the process of getting this company up and going officially. So I have been getting orders, but conscious that actually this is something I really want to do. As I've gotten older, I've spent time chasing my dreams and feel career-wise I've got to the point of where I want to get to. So looking at the next phase of my life, that word retirement, and feeling quite inspired by other people that have gone off early and done different things. And I realised actually retirement doesn't mean that it's all over. We can do something else. So I thought this is the little venture that I want to do to take me into the next phase of my life, and feel very inspired, very supported by my family, friends, customers, you know, and I just want to put it out there that anything is possible. You know, we don't have to stop. And I think, you know, we've had two very creative people online already tonight, which is fantastic. And it, you know, it just makes me buzz. And I think, yeah, you know, I'm a creative person in a different way to Dave and Mark, but, you know, a lot of us through COVID have realized that we've got a creative streak, and a lot more of us are using it, and there's many platforms for us to do these things. So my thing is it's never too late. So I will show you actually a couple of things. So we were talking about colour earlier on when Dave did his poetry, and he talked about the face masks, and mine are definitely inspired. So this is my lovely spotty red, green and gold mask, definitely inspired by my heritage, which is Afro-Jamaican. And I only found this out recently, being born to Jamaican parentage, but having done my DNA, and I found out a lot more about where I'm from, and finding out that actually my makeup is, you know, 90% African, has just been amazing, because I've always had a flair for certain things within the African culture. So now I know where it comes from. So this is my lovely One Love mask. And then the bonnets are for the ladies out there. They're not for men yet, but for the ladies out there, you'll appreciate this lovely satin lining, which helps to retain the moisture in our wonderful natural Afro hair. And then I tend to go for Ankara type prints cotton. So I don't know, I think they look nice. I've been out in this as a full set with the mask, and then the combination head wrap, and had many compliments. And this has all come about because this is the birth of my business. This was the very first one I made, which is again an Ankara styled satin lined bonnet, and really feel blessed that something so simple as made a big change in my life. I must say, definite change, because I realized that life isn't always about the 9 to 5. So that's really what I wanted to say. Very sweet, very brief, but for all you aspiring artisans out there, whether it's poetry, drawing, sewing, needlework, embroidery, floristry, because I do know we've got other people on here who are doing their little thing. You know, it's never too late, and embrace that creative side.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. And guys, people out there, if you want to get your scarves, your bonnets, your nice funky mask, you now know who to go to. Yeah, so Fiona, please put your detail in the chat.
I will do.
If you can tell people where they can get hold of your stuff, that's brilliant, because I know I'm going to be ordering mine. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for that. And this is just, and this is to remind everyone, right? This is a Black Unison Black, sponsored by Unison, it's a Black members event. Yeah, and we're putting this on to celebrate excellence, our excellent culture, right? But also, we want to promote businesses in here. We want to promote people trying to do things like Fiona. We want to promote people trying to do things for themselves. So if you know any business, if you know any restaurant, any people that make clothes, any people that do hair, anything that you've been to and they've done well with you, any Black business, give them a shout. Give them a shout on here, right? You've got an audience here, so give them a shout. If you don't want to talk on screen in front of, if you're shy, you can put it in the chat, but give them a shout. What I'm going to do now at the moment is I'm going to get, I think, Michelle on quickly, and then we're going to have a little bit of music from our resident DJ. I like saying that, resident DJ. So Michelle, what we do, we'll get H. Michelle Johnson. Michelle, you there? Who's a author, motivational speaker, radio host, and coach. And I believe, Michelle, you're gonna tell us about your new book.
Yes, I am. And I'm hoping that I can play a video that I tried to play earlier in the week, but everyone could see the video, but they couldn't hear it. So I'll do that as a second thing. But my first thing is just to talk about my first book, and I won't take 20 minutes at all. This is going to be a 5-minute thing because you've all heard me talk about it throughout the Black History Month events that we ran here sponsored by Unison at UCLH. And it was really, really good fun, challenging, lovely to hear people's views and comments and to hear how things are going for people, and also for people to get lots of feedback and tips and advice from the speakers as well. So I talked about my book many times times made reference to it. It's called Do Great Exploits. And the tagline is saying yes to your dreams when it's easier to say no. And there's so many, and this easier to say no thing is really the barriers and the obstacles. So if anybody was on the call on Tuesday, I talked about Professor Jacqueline Dunkley Bent, who said that, she thinks some people either don't see the obstacles, or when they see them, they learn to go through them or around them. And those are the people who then succeed in fulfilling their purpose, their destiny, their career aspirations, or whatever. You've got to be able, you recognize that in life there are obstacles, but in fact, those who succeed, those who break through, those who are effective, actually find ways to break through the barriers or go around them. So this book is really about that, how to get past the barriers, how to go around the barriers, how to go above them, how to go up below them. The point is, don't stop, persist, know exactly what it is you want out of life. And there are some principles involved in how you go about taking action to achieve them. So it's your number one guide to fulfilling purpose, demystifying the road to your success in life, building your confidence. It's an irresistible opportunity for personal and professional transformation, and provides information, inspiration, and motivation to help you live your best life. So this book, unfortunately, my website is, the bookshop on my website seems to be down, but it is on Amazon and you can get it there, or I will give you my email address. I'll put it in the chat in a moment so that you can email me directly if you want an autographed copy. I've got copies that I can put in the post to you as well, okay? And then the other book, which Loxy just alluded to, which is coming out in November, just putting final touches on it. And the reason it was delayed in its publication is because I decided that, so the book is about resilience, it's called Bouncing Back. And what I wanted to do, instead of just writing a book, which it's going to be produced as a text printed book, what I wanted to do first is release an interactive version of it, which then required, well, let's just put it this way, lots of barriers and obstacles to that, but I managed to find ways through, ways over, and ways around, okay? So it was a challenging thing, but in fact, it's going forward now, and it's interactive in that there will be text writing, but also I've included videos of myself talking, images, and pop-up boxes with tips and all sorts of things, really, to make it fun, to make it interactive. And it's a book that you can download onto your phone or onto your laptop or onto your tablet, basically. So what I want to do actually is try and play one of the videos for that. And I will have a go now and hope that it works. So let me just get onto the sharing screen, if I may. And once I've done that, I'm quite happy to then take questions or hand over to the next speaker, Loxley. So, right, so share screen. And then, so I don't know, in Loxley, are you able to see that on my screen?
No, I can't, I'm not seeing anything yet.
Are you seeing
Okay.
this now? Okay,
Yep.
well, let's see if we can get the audio this time. This is a different video than the one I was going to show on Tuesday, but it's a short one. So can you hear that?
We can hear you. Can't hear the video.
You can't hear the video?
No.
Oh, I wonder why that happens.
No, we can hear you, but not the
It's
video.
on full volume. Oh dear. Maybe Zoom doesn't interact with downloaded videos as opposed to it being on YouTube. So I apologize for that, guys. I didn't test it before because I just thought maybe it was just the computer acting up funny early in the week. But the book is called Bouncing Back, and I think I've got the cover. At least I can show you the cover, maybe, possibly, maybe not. Ah, here we are. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the book cover. That's the draft of it anyway. It's under development. So it's Bouncing Back, super strategies to boost your resilience and get you on top of the new normal. I work in the NHS, and we know that with the COVID and with the George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, the protests, so much that David alluded to when he was sharing his fantastic Me Tunes earlier on, you know, it led to a lot of emotional trauma, stress, unhappiness, fear, people have lost their jobs, they've suffered bereavements. There's a lot of confusion and uncertainty around what's happened in 2020. So after publishing my first book, I knew I was going to publish many other books because that's what I do. I'm a writer. And I knew that resilience was going to be the theme of my subsequent book. But really, when this year kicked off the way it did, I finally found a really great context to talk about resilience. And so that's what this book is about. It's going to be coming out, as I said, in November in its interactive version, which you'll be able to download from my website once that's up and running. It's currently being reconstructed. And hopefully in the new year, I will be able to have printed copies as well, if people prefer printed copies. So I will put my contact details in the chat for you if you want to get in touch, if you want me to come and speak on these themes of resilience, or if you want me to coach you around resilience, or if you want to get a copy of the book, you'll be able to do so. Okay, Loxley?
Thank you very much, Michelle. And if you could put your details in the chat, please. And someone's also asked whether you could put the link to the video.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll have to upload those videos on YouTube actually, and then send them around because they're not on YouTube. They're just on my laptop.
That's gonna be brilliant.
Sorry, so sorry we couldn't play them.
Yeah, Michelle, hopefully we'll get to see them if you can upload them. So that'd be brilliant. But Michelle, thank you very much indeed once again. Can I ask now, look, I think what we're doing, we're running slightly behind here. Yep. So what we have time for, DJ, if you're on, we have time for one tune. Yeah, if you can hear me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we have time for a tune. We can just slip it in there before the next speaker.
All right, then. Well, let's do this real quick then, because somebody asked me, hold tight to Gina, who asked me, said, have I got any sugar miners? Yes, Gina, I have.
There is a message in what I've got to say.
One of my all-time favorites, Vanity.
Old King Cole was a very old soul.
Studio One.
Very old soul was he. But old King Cole lost all his gold, and now he's trying to see. Don't put your trust in vanity, or it will let you down. Don't put your trust in vanity, or you'll be on the ground. Like,
Oh, mama, I'm failing.
Studio One rhythm.
My money's gone. I'm all alone. Too much.
Just a little touch of this one, then we're going to hand it back to Loxley.
The world keeps turning. Oh, what a day. What a day, what a day.
Remix.
Peace and blessings manifest with every lesson learned. If your knowledge were your wealth, then it would be well earned.
Erica Badu meets Studio One.
If we're made in his image, then call us by our names. Most intellects do not believe in God, but they fear us just the same. Oh, no.
Yes, it's an exclusive remix of mine. Loxley, don't want to overrun time.
That was a tune. That was a proper tune. Thank you very much. The next I'm going to introduce Winsome Duncan. Yeah, Winsome, are you around?
I am.
Hi, Winsome. Winsome is an author. She has more than 14 years experience in the publishing industry, and she's an author of 15 books. As well as an author, she does spoken word. So Winsome, can I bring you in there, please?
Yes, greetings. How's everyone doing? Everybody Irish? I see you do the clicks. Click, 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 clack. Right, so when I wear my poetry hat, I am here in the capacity of lyrical healer. Heal the people them. So for the next 20 minutes, I'm just going to give you a little bit of my vibe. It's my pleasure. Sorry I joined late. We had an event at Lewisham Council, which was awesome. It'll be up on my YouTube later. It was story time at the Popcorn House. So I've been publishing books since 2006, and October saw me become a best-selling author, #1, people. With the Popcorn House, teamwork makes the dream work. I worked with 30 young authors aged 7 to 12 to create this book. They suggested names, they drew characters. We worked over a 3-month period during lockdown. We've raised 1,400 on our GoFundMe page. And it's really an honor and a privilege. And the reason why I had to start this journey was simply because only 1% of main characters are in children's books. And that is compared to the 33% of children that are Black, Asian, or ethnic minority that are in schools. So we wanted to change this, and we wanted to give this story a lift. So the community has supported us. There's an article on me in the Voice newspaper. Go check it out, page 56. Last week we did the mayor's office, and it's really about the children and getting their voices heard and getting positive reflections. The dedication of this book is to a dear friend of mine who we heard about today, Ty. I call him Brother Bear. That was my nickname for him. So for those of you that don't know him, this is rapper Ty, aka Ben Chijoki. And, you know, I, for one, miss him dearly. He was just the light and the spirit. And I want our children to remember him for all our times. So rest in peace, Ty. And I know he's been an angel watching over us and putting us into the position that we have. So I'm all about Black inspired work. I do colouring books as well for young people. Black inspired, Time to Explore with Ezra and Etta. And again, it's about seeing positive representation, because my history is not 365. My history is 365 days. It can't be packed into 31 days of October. Excuse me. Don't they know the melanin that I possess? So my goal really is to just change and diversify the publishing industry. I'm a small publishing press, Peaches Publications. I've opened up the social enterprise Look Like Me book challenge to help change the narrative. And we just calling on the community to help us spread the word. You know, there's so many amazing opportunities that we just had during October, and there'll be more to come. So I will put some information in the chat, and, you know, we've got greeting cards, again, promoting positive representation, bookmarks. You cannot be what you do not see. And we've got the lovely support of the Deputy Mayor of London, Dr. Debbie Weeks-Bernard. She has endorsed us, and that endorsement has gone a long way. And it really saddens me to hear that a lot of people didn't even know she was a woman of colour. You know, they were just shocked. I mean, I don't know if you can put in the chat, did you know the Deputy Mayor of London was a Black woman? Yes or no? It'll be interesting to know your take. Well, there you go. You need to research that. Big up DJ Croc. Yeah. Yeah. Big up, big up. Nice rhythms. I love the rhythms. Blackbird singing in the dead of the night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Ah, yeah.
Winsome, sorry, can I cut in there briefly? We're going to have to cut your session a little bit short, because we're running a bit late. Yeah.
How much short?
Well, we've got we've got about 7 minutes. Is that going to be okay?
No, I need a little bit more than time than that. How about 15?
How about 10?
12.
All right, we've got 10 minutes.
Okay. So I've prepared some lyrics for you today, and I don't often get a chance to perform. So it's really an honor and a privilege to come in and be a part. So I'm going to try and fit 3 pieces in this 10 minutes. So I better get straight to it then. I hate being on the clock. Boo-hoo. Okay, right. So this first piece is really talking about Black youths, and it's called Bloodshed. Well, actually, no, it's called Pop Off, and it's really for the young people. Bloodshed, bloodshed, the pavement turns red. Pop off, another one day. Bloodshed, bloodshed, the pavement turns red. Pop off another one day. Every day, every day, every day, another one day. Every day, every day, every day, another one day. Every day the streets see Africans descending. Every day the streets see Africans descending. Every day the streets see Africans descending. So if I spit it for the warriors, I must spit it for the troops. Stop raping Mother Africa for their loot. Enemy lives must be recouped. See, I'm a poet who feels it, knows it. Last chapter, I closed it. In and out of constant hesitation to fight against warring nations. All we feel is alienation as we move closer towards detonation. The streets are soaked in our blood because it's cool to be a gangster fog. It's a hard not life. All right. The noose around my neck is getting tight, but I can't help thinking, is anybody listening? Comfort zones are so appealing while we kick back trees, procrastinating. Not only do we face drug addiction, we face ultimate humiliation through lack of education. See, I will be at the forefront of the queue, bringing down Babylon for all to view. Yes, we've had it rough, but enough is enough. Every day the streets see Africans descending. The governing you men call it ethnic cleansing. This is a state we're living in, targeted by supremacist conditioning. Children are bumping and grinding, big pimping, flossing and shotting. My people, our nation is dying. My people, our mothers are crying. Bloodshed, the pavement turns red. Pop off, another one day. Bloodshed, the pavement turns red. Pop off, another one day. Every day, every day, every day, another one day. Every day, every day, every day, another one day. Thank you. It's a little bit of lubrication there. All right, so the next piece that I'm going to do is a work in progress. I feel like this is a group that I can share this with, and it's just basically to highlight what's going on within the book publishing industry. So it's called Look Like Me. You see, I live in a country where the majority of books here don't look like me, yet they are proud of their racist statues and history steeped in slavery. God save me from the 1% of main characters that are in children's books. This means that my nephews and niece, when they take a look, they don't see themselves. Inanimate objects appear more frequently instead of their tiny black and brown faces. Let's take a second look. Would you trade places and walk a mile in my shoes? Can you comprehend the issues? As Tell Life Vision speaks of global pandemics, I'm trying to transform my community and do something epic. So I reached out to the world. Instead of being a birthday girl, I did a weekender. Nah, not an alcoholic bender. I set up a GoFundMe fundraiser and asked my family and friends and love thy neighbors to help change the narrative of white privilege. It's a travesty to me that only 4% of sidekick characters are in children's books. This is in comparison to the 33% of ethnic minority children's learning in schools. The publishing industry must think that we are educated fools. The Reflecting Realities report is commissioned by the CLPE, the Centre of Literacy in Primary Education. And they had no hesitation in highlighting the lack of diversity in children's books across the nation. Why should you care when I see you sipping your pinky finger in the air? Children that look like me are 10 times more likely to be stopped by police authorities. Children that look like me are being killed on a daily by violence on streets and social poverty. Children that look like me are at the risk of 846 from an institutionally racist system perpetuated by hate. Instead of our young'uns standing tall on shoulders of ancestral giants, they are in chokeholds and being kneed to death. And your white privilege complains about riots. And I'll leave it there because time is running out. And I've got one last piece before I close. And it's called The Healer in Me. And it basically just encompasses what I'm about and what I've been doing for the little while. And I just want to say to people that are online, you know, if you're going through a tough time, it's okay. You know, feel your feelings. This is uncharted territories that we're in. And at the end of the day, I really just feel like we have to connect. And this is a tool that we're using at the moment. But we will get back to physical connection. This too shall pass. So I just want to encourage someone out there, if you're just feeling a little bit despondent, just to keep going and to never give up. So the last piece that I'm going to write is called The Healer in Me. Everything happens for a reason. The sun shines in the sky. Always a time and season. It's our time to live the life we're dreaming. Got up and took a stand. That's why our heart's still beating. My cosmic lyrics travel over the specific like tidal waves. Let's be specific. I'm in it to win it, for my soul has been saved. See, I'm an ocean away from mainstream. Yeah, I can still hear Martin Luther King sing, I have a dream. To travel continental shores and see black sand in the motherland as a Nubian. Africa is calling, telling me to stop stalling and realign with my poetic lines. They call me the lyrical healer, a certified art dealer. Nah, no way a diva, you see me? I'm a righteous, conscious article sister. I mean what I say, I don't say what I don't mean. No longer in pursuit of the chronic cream, because lately things are not what they seem. See, I marinate the rhyme because I need more time to add a twist of line to bring you the flavor to make your mouth water. Sit back and savor the delicacies are within me. See, it's easy like A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. But that's how healing is supposed to be. My poetry does not live at derogatory city. See, I have to be free like poet man Benjamin Zephaniah. I aim to inspire ever higher into the realms of Maya Angelou. See, beautiful black woman, there's a phenomenal woman inside of you. So as you kick back and listen to my poetry diligently, please remember the healer in me. And remember, everything happens for a reason. The sun shines in the sky. Always a time and season. It's our time to live the life we're dreaming. Got up and took a stand. That's why our heart's still beating. Keep on moving, keep on growing, keep on climbing high. Keep on touching, keep on knowing you can reach the sky. Keep on glowing, keep on growing. There's a reason why. 'Cause there's a reason in this season. If you only try, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Peace. All right, family, that is my time. I just want to quickly say I'm going to put my information in the chat. Please do help us spread the word about the Look Like Me book challenge, more positive representation for our young people. The Popcorn House, Dreamwork makes the team work. Just go and get a copy as well. Show love, Amazon reviews. Peace. I've been Lyrical Heal Her, aka Winsome Duncan. One love.
Thank you, Winsome. That was fantastic. And you know what? There's a lot of love for you in the chat, so please check it out. So I'm sorry I had to cut it a bit short, but that was absolutely fantastic, and it'd be great to have you back at some point on a future event.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You're very welcome. What we're going to do now, because of time, we're going to throw it right in there. So I've got Lyndon. Lyndon, are you around? Hi, Lyndon. No, it doesn't seem as though Lyndon's around yet. We're expecting Lyndon, but
He's around. I don't know if he's just gone off somewhere, but I'll get in touch with him and tell him to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm here. I'm incognito.
Okay.
You're here. You're incognito.
Yeah, just about.
Thank you very much. And we're going to go in there, Lyndon. We're going to give you 5 minutes, if that's okay, to tell us about yourself and what you do. Lyndon, take it away.
Sorry, I'm at work, so this is me at work. So I've quickly rushed. I've been busy. My name's Lyndon Wissart, author of the book Inspired Diabetics. See, I'm busy here. Sorry, guys. Author of the book The Inspired Diabetic, a journey of how I reversed my type 2 diabetes in 105 days naturally without any prescribed medication. And yeah, that's me really. My journey is an amazing journey about diabetes. I had type 2 diabetes. My HbA1c was 92. My blood glucose was 15.9. They gave me 25 days, well, 3 weeks to reverse my type 2 diabetes. And they didn't expect me to do it within 25 days. I went from 92 down to 77, down to 77, down to 60, and then total of 105 days, I went down to 41 HbA1c MMO. And that's basically my journey. The 4 things are going to clarify what I've done and how I've done it. The first thing was my mindset. Yeah. My second was a diet. The foods that I was eating, what I had to take out my diet. And number 3, physical activity. I had to lose a lot of weight. And number 4 was intermittently fasting. This is the other thing that I had to do. Those are the 4 principal things of helping people to reverse type 2 diabetes. And my book, The Inspired Diabetic, gives people the foundation of where to get started and how to get started on that. So this is what my journey is all about now. And I'm in great support with Michelle Johnson as well, doing great exploits. Thank you, Michelle, for your support. And thank you, Pat, for having me on this evening. Even though I'm at work, you can see where I am. Still having fun, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done. So thank you very much for having me on this evening. You can find out more about me on theinspireddiabetic.com. That's my website. Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel as well. I'm on Facebook, Instagram as well. Yeah, so theinspireddiabetic.com. That's where you can find me. So contact me, communicate with me, and let's change the variety of what's happening. They're talking about diabetes now. Every 22 seconds, somebody dies. Every 22 seconds, somebody loses a limb through diabetes. Every 6 seconds, somebody dies from diabetes. Okay, in the UK now, there's 4 million plus diabetics. In worldwide, there's 400 million people with diabetes, and they always say it's going to increase. My question is, why is it increasing when I can reverse it in 105 days? That's my question. Why is it increasing when I can do it? There must be other people that can do it. So our journey now is to help other people to share the journey of what I've done, how I've done, and let's to bring those numbers down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 2 quick things, Lyndon. Good to see that you can multitask.
Yeah.
And 2, I've put your details in the chat box. And DJ Croc also wants to know more about you, so that's good.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us from work, because you're busy.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Very much indeed.
Talk to you later, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Look, what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump in there with the next speaker, and then we're gonna have some music. Yeah, we're gonna finish off with some music. So right now on the line, we're gonna have Dr. Yvonne Thompson, CBE. Yvonne's an entrepreneur and communications expert with Winfred Global founder. She's the brainchild of Dr. Yvonne Thompson, CBE. Yvonne has run a thriving women in business network for the last 24 years. And since 1996, she has been a champion and a mentor, upholding, supporting, and celebrating both small business owners and women working with corporate structures. So please, Dr. Yvonne Thompson, it's over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Loxley. I love introducing people, and I tend to say, go ahead and tell your story, because what you've just done there is my whole talk. You've introduced me, you've given my talk already. That's supposed to, that's great, that's great.
You weren't gonna just talk about that, surely, yeah?
No, I'm joking, Look, first of all, I've got to say, I did say to Pat, I literally just got back from Germany like 3 o'clock this morning, and I've been working practically ever since. And I did say to Pat that I'm going to go and have something to eat and come back, especially for this bit. But I've stayed throughout and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm humbled to be in the presence of all these other fantastic speakers. The poetry has been amazing. The singing, and DJ Croc. I'm going to give you a challenge. I've got a challenge for you. My introductory song would have been I Did It My Way. By who? Not Frank Sinatra. Not Frank Sinatra. Sammy Davis Jr. did the original.
Okay,
So
I
if
lost the
you
challenge
can
then.
find that before I finish talking and play just a couple of seconds, that's my challenge to you. So there you go. And then you'll be, right up there. So look, Pat asked me to tell you a little bit about my background. I've been in business for over 40 years. I turned 65 this year. So for me, a bit like your previous speaker, for me to try and tell you, any or too much about me in a very short space of time, and I know you're running out of time. You didn't tell me how much time I had, Loxley.
Yeah, I was afraid to. I'm just letting you take it away.
I will condense it. I will condense it, and perhaps you can invite me back another time.
Well,
I've also got to congratulate all of you for putting this on. It's been an amazing 2 hours. And like all the previous speakers before, I feel humbled to be in the presence and supporting. But I also want to say thank you to all the frontline NHS workers. And as Mark said earlier on, the people behind them. It's like the woman behind the man. The man always gets the greetings. But so to give you a very quick rundown of my story, originally from Guyana, arrived in the UK when I was 5. My parents came over at the request, or so they thought, of the Queen, or the invitation of the Queen, to help rebuild the mother country. And when they arrived with 6 children, they expected to be welcomed with open arms. And we all know the rest of that story. First of all, they had to find somewhere for 8 people to live. And it was at the time where it looks like most of you are too young to know this, but it was at the time when it was still legal to have notices on doors that says, landlords, that says, no, let me get it in the right order. No Irish, no dogs, no black. So even then we were right at the bottom of the list. But find somewhere they did. They found 2 rooms in a basement flat in Battersea. And at that time, Battersea was the worst part of London. So we had probably the worst 2 rooms in the worst street in the worst part of London, where the Battersea power station was still live and it was still running. So for me, I always say that migrants are the true entrepreneurs because, you know, we tend to arrive in this country, sometimes can't speak the same language, definitely not from the same cultural background, with no infrastructure, no support. But do you know what? Sometimes when you start from below zero, those are the people who bounce the highest. And Michelle's book about resilience is something that I talk about a lot. I've also written a book on diversity, getting more women and more minorities on the corporate boards and the organizational boards throughout the UK. So that's been the things that I've been championing throughout my life. Just to kind of, I can't go through everything, but where I think my diversity or my activism actually started was when I was at CBS Records. It's probably now known as Sony BMG or Atlantic, or it's had so many different changes. But I was there for 7.5 years. At that time, there were very few women in the offices of music or record companies. There were even less. In fact, for 7.5 years, I was the only person of color who was not a cleaner or not on the switchboard. I was a single mother, daughter of 5, a Black woman, and you know, the rest is history. For me, I had a triple whammy. It wasn't a double whammy. And I was there for 7.5 years. And after applying for a promotion that I was already standing in for 3 times, I decided the only way for me to move up was to move out. So on the 3rd time of being refused, I handed my notice in. 3 weeks later, I was out the door, started the first Black-owned PR company, worked for, in the UK, according to PR Week, started the first Black Women in Business network, worked for the first Black glossy magazine in the UK, monthly, Root magazine. How many of you remember Root magazine? I don't think you're old enough. And it was on Root magazine that I met 2 men that changed my life. I don't know how many of you know the names Neil Kenlock or Patrick Berry. Does anybody know those names? Well, for those of you, again, who want to know a bit more about Black history, as we're talking about Black History Month, they were the geniuses behind Choice FM. How many of you know the name Choice FM? Good. Now known as Capital Extra. So because I was working with them, I was the first editor, music editor of the first Black monthly glossy magazine. And because I was working with them, they invited me to be part of Choice FM. So I was the only woman on a board of 9 people that started Choice FM. I think you all know the history of Choice FM, but the interesting thing about Choice FM, I now actually live in the building that Choice FM started in Brixton. So I now live where I used to work. And we're about to put up a blue plaque, talking about history again, we're about to have a blue plaque put up by English Heritage for the 30 years. It's marking 30 years since Choice FM started this year. We were supposed to do it in March, but that was lockdown. We were going to do it in October, but that was a light lockdown. So hopefully we'll do it next year. So my thing has always been about supporting women in business. I started the first Black Women's Network. You know, it's not hard to start the first something in the Black community. So I started the first Black Women in Business Network 23 years ago. And because I'd started my own business and I couldn't see women that looked like me, you know, doing the kind of things that I did. At that time, it was still very much takeaway, which of course is business and lasting, and hairdressing. But since I started my business nearly 40 years ago, You know, we have come such a long way. We are so much more. There are so many more of us doing so many different things. You know, there weren't that many authors, Black female authors, you know, 37 years ago when I started my business. So I am, you know, I'm feeling very, very positive about the trajectory that Black businesses are going. It's never going to move fast enough. I hope that I see things change and we become a little bit more like our American counterparts, where there are so many more businesses with huge turnovers in the UK. What else can I tell you other than, again, you know, I've gone through so many different iterations of my work life, from sitting on various boards. I've got, because of the work that I do supporting women, minorities and small businesses, I was given a CBE by the Queen 17 years ago. A few years later, I was given 2 doctorates, 2 honorary doctorates, and more recently, I've had 3 fellowships from King's College London, St. George's College Windsor, and from the Royal Society of Arts. So, you know, and again, I'm not telling this to impress you, but to impress upon you that it doesn't matter what structure you're in, whatever you choose to do, you can do it too. I've seen so many stories of people pivoting. You know, during the coronavirus, I really found that, or taken hold of the saying, what is it? Necessity is the creation. No, what's, come on, someone help me. Help me, creation, what is it?
The invention of creation. Adversity is the invention of creation, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to miss it. But but you know, during these times, necessity is the mother of all creation.
Oh, there you go.
I knew I'd get it in the end. But during the time of lockdown, so many people have had to find a way through. Some of us didn't make it through, but many of us have, and we found alternative ways of living. And it just shows how adaptable human race is, I should say. You know, we've all had to think seriously about the whole Black Lives Matters. It's a shame that it's taken something like the George Floyd tragedy to really make organizations sit up and listen. But throughout COVID, I kept thinking to myself, you can get bitter or you can get better. I chose to get better. All of my business now, my women's network and everything that I do is now online. Not to say that it can't go back to the physical, but for now, everything is online. You know, and for one of the things that I take very seriously, I know that corporates and organizations talk about CSR, corporate social responsibility, but I urge everyone online to think about PSR, personal social responsibility, because throughout this whole crazy time, we all have personal social responsibility as well. So I'm not sure what else I can tell you in this short time. I'm feeling the pressure of you guys running out of time, and I don't want to kind of overstay my welcome. You know, I could talk a lot more about, you know, equality and diversity. I could talk a lot more about the kind of things and ways in which we should be thinking about working with our white counterparts. You know, how to encourage them to have that uncomfortable conversation, to make them comfortable with having the uncomfortable conversation. One of the things I think that we all have a personal social responsibility of is every time you hear, see, or spot anything you consider to be racism in action, to call it out. Because if you don't call it out, you are giving them permission to carry on doing it. And you can call it out in so many different ways. You can call it out by having the conversation, having that uncomfortable conversation. It doesn't have to be in front of everybody. It could be, you know, you have a conversation with them separately. But whatever you do, whenever the racist remarks come or anything that you feel is not what it should be, don't get angry. Just make sure, or don't show your anger, your frustration, or anything else. Just make sure that you do it in a calm, cool, collective way. And sometimes that's more frustrating to them than seeing you. What they want is for you to get angry. So I'm going to end there, because if I carry on, I'm not a poet, I am not a singer, I am a writer, and I will show my book as everyone is showing their books, and the battery's running low on my computer, so it's good timing. 7 traits, you can't see it, 7 traits of highly successful women on board. And that is, it's more of a leadership publication. Excuse me while I'm plugging my power. It's more of a leadership publication than an equality and diversity or women's book. It's for everybody. It's more about leadership. With that, I'm going to close and say thank you all very much for inviting me into your inner sanctum. I'm not part of the union, but I hope that, you know, my contribution has made, as at least one person has picked up one thing to take away with them. I've enjoyed it tonight, and please free to get in touch with me. I'm happy to, yes, somebody, yep, someone's just put up the quote there, fantastic. Necessity is the mother of all creation. There we go. I knew someone knew it. I'm happy to share copies of my book with you if you wish. I would, for anybody who wants a copy, I will give you my email address. I would share it with you just at cost and postage, and because I want to spread the message more than sell copies. It's been out for a little while, so I'm happy to just share it with you. With that, thank you very much, Pat. Thank you, Loxley, for your great moderatorship. DJ Croc, have you found my music? Have you found my play out? Has he frozen, or is it me?
No, I think he's frozen.
Okay, that means he didn't rise to my challenge.
Didn't do it. Didn't do it.
So thank you all very much. I'm going to leave you.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you so much.
You're
That's
welcome.
brilliant.
And there's a lot more that could have been said. So hopefully we can get Yvonne back for and she'll support a future event.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Now, guys, once again, this is a UCLH Unison Black members event. Yeah, so this event's there for you, for the Black members of Unison. It's here to showcase what we do and to put us on the map. Now, if you're not involved, get involved, right? If people aren't here today, it's because because they haven't signed up, because we don't know who you are. I want to know who you are. So if you're not involved, we need you to get involved. And as I keep saying, I'm sure you're probably sick of it now, but it's true. We are stronger together. Our voices are much stronger together. So coming in as one, we can make a movement. We can do things from that point. Yeah. Now,
can I just interject real quickly, Loxley? Point of order. Point of order. Yes, you're laughing. Dr. Thompson, you should me with a challenge. Point of order. Remember my name, DJ Croc, One Nation.
And now the end is near, and so I face that final curtain. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
my
you
friend,
found it right at
I'll say it
the
clear
last minute, so that's
and
fantastic.
state the case of which I'm certain. Don't you know I lived a life that's full? Yeah, it was full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. Don't you know I did it my way?
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Now, everyone thinks it was Frank Sinatra, but it was Sammy Davis Jr. There you go.
It's the better version, actually. It's not the it's not such a well-known version, but it's the better version.
Thank you very much.
Loxley.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I didn't know. I had no idea it was Sammy Davis. I thought it was Frank Sinatra. That's learning for me. And now I'm going to go out and get that version. Thank you all very much. But now I want to give you time. Yeah, this is the time for you all to shout. We want to know, if you haven't put it in the chat already, or if you haven't shouted, we want to know those Black businesses out there. We want to know the businesses that you've been to, who you want to give a shout to. We want to know their names. We want to know about them. So if you're a bit too shy to come up and tell us about it, then at least put it in the chat. Yeah, because all these nice places that you go into, I want to visit them myself. Yeah, so we all want to visit them. We want to give them a shout. We want to give them some promotion. So right now, what I want to do, and I know she's not going to thank me for this, but I want to hand over to Pat for a few minutes, because I know Pat's worked extremely hard on this. And Pat, say a few words, please, because you're the instigator. You're the one that brought all this together.
Hi, Loxley. I just want to say thank you so much. Loxley's been my backbone, everyone. Whenever I've got an idea, it's Loxley that I turn to and say, Lox, do you think we can run with this? So thank you so much, because I would not have been able to do this without you. Also, Fiona, she's our branch secretary of Unison, and she's been fantastic. Whenever we've gone to Gina and said, look, Gina, we need some money, we want to put something on, Gina's always very, very helpful and thoughtful. So thank you again. And I want to thank everyone for actually participating over the last month and attending these sessions. It's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Look, we've got
oh, you spoke.
We've got one of our midwives here is on camera. She didn't want to miss out.
We can't go without giving a shout out to Susie, to Lisa, to Hattie.
Susie, yeah.
And they're the other members of the Black members who've all contributed to making this.
Working very hard.
Thank you, Pat. I just wanted to say thank you to you and Loxley and to everyone else. It's Susie here. Okay,
love you, Susie. Done. I thought you were on leave.
No, I was on leave, but I just kind of like tuned in because I had to support and show some love. I'm doing a ghost.
I'm on the
at the moment.
Black History. Just one minute.
But well done.
Want to say
well done,
something.
Phyllis.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, baby.
And I think we've got Josephine who wants to speak, one of our senior midwives here.
Yes,
Over to
Sister
you,
Pat.
Josephine.
Good evening, all. My name is Josephine. I'm a midwife from AGA. I just want to say thank you so much. I've enjoyed every bit of this session and the previous ones as well. I'm on night duty, but I've tried to follow it all the way from home. I've now arrived in AGA. But it's been a pleasure being on this platform. Thank you ever so much. And Loxley, thank you so much. And Michelle, thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you. And with that, thank you very much.
I want to say a big thank you to my two former managers who are here in the audience. That's Tonya Ramsden and Jacqueline Jackson. They've both been very inspirational.
Okay.
So thank you both and all my colleagues and friends.
Brilliant, Pat. Thank you very much. Remember, guys, for all of you, for all of those out there who are tuning in from UCLH, we're going to be running many more events. This is, as what I've heard today, Black History does not stop in October, right? So we're going to be running events. The next event we're going to plan is for December. But in order to know about that, I need you to be involved. So send us your details. Let us know who you are, and then I can put you on a database and we can get you all involved. I think at that point, Pat, we've got a few minutes left.
Can I just have a big shout out to our lovely Ernest? He's our techie man. And we would not have been able to do any of this without Ernest. He's just fantastic. because Loxley and I didn't have a clue how to, put all this Zoom stuff together. But he's been really inspirational. We have a fantastic website as well, where you can sort of view all the things that we've been doing and we intend to do. So thank you again, Ernest.
DJ Croc.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me? We need some
I
music,
am,
my
sir.
friend. We need some music.
Need some music. Okay, so are we? How long do we need? How much music do we need? How much music do we need? How long are we going to play some music for?
Quarter past.
Yeah, I think we're
quarter
down to
past.
5 minutes or so.
Okay, 5 minutes or so. All right, so if you got any requests, you better get them in quick. You heard the man, you got like 5 minutes. Watch the chat just light up now. All right, so big shout out to everybody who has taken part or just watched in this this evening's event. I've really enjoyed it. It's been my first one and I'm looking forward to many, many more. I've put some businesses that I'm aware of in the chat and I've just put in brackets roughly what they do. So please look them up. They are businesses that I've used or I'm familiar with and benefited me. I hope they will benefit you or be of some benefit to you too. All right. Okay. So this is DJ Croc from One Nation. Remember, you can find me on all the regular platforms. One Nation UAG, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or DJ Croc UK. Same on all the platforms. Requests are coming in already, so let's get with it. In with the times. There's so much more music to play, and no time. Maybe next time. Here we go.
I can hear my neighbor cry. I can't breathe. Now I'm in the struggle. I can't leave. Calling out the violence of the racist police. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. Sweet Lord, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Sweet Lord, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home.
The voice of Queen Africa.
The topic of racism is a sensitive one.
Listen lyrics.
Hard to even figure out where it began. It is the reason Jaja made us this way. Why can't we all just get along? Allowing our children to play, showing them a whole better way. Coexisting like the birds and the bees, one human family. I can hear my neighbor cry. I can't breathe. Now I'm in the struggle. I can't leave. Calling out the violence of the racist police. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. We ain't gonna stop till people are free.
All right, someone asked for this one, so let's get with it. Request time. Not quite sure who it was. I saw this somewhere. Shout out to all the royal queens in the building.
No, I've never been someone shy until I seen you right.
Outside Estella.
Still I had to try.
I saw you light up.
Yeah. Oh yes. Let me get my words right and then approach you. When I'll treat you like a man is supposed to. You'll never have to cry. No. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone.
You know the words.
And she's royal, yeah, so royal. And I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen. She's a queen. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen. She's a queen.
Outside Fiona.
And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of.
What you say?
She's royal, yeah, so royal.
Oh, and I gotta get into another request.
Need her in my life.
I gotta get into another request.
I never knew anyone so one of a kind.
One more.
Until the night that.
Another request. Somebody asked for this one. I'm just seeing tunes in the chat.
Stick by me. I'll stick by you.
Just seeing the tunes in the chat.
Stick by me.
Running through them as quick as I can.
Stick by you. My life on earth would be useless, can't you see? Oh, if I didn't have you, you'll stick by me. I love you, darling, and that's no lie. Oh, stick by me, I'll stick by you. When you cry, I cry too. Oh, stick by me, and I'll stick by you. Remember my heart and my love belong to you. Oh, stick by me, I'll stick by you. Friends may try to hurt us, scandalize our name. No one can tear us apart. You've got a place in my heart. Oh yeah.
Sing it.
I love you, darling.
And that's
no lie. Oh, stick by me. I stick by you.
All right. This one is going out to Look Like Me Book Challenge. She sang this one a little while earlier in when she was speaking. So I got to run this one. Thanks for reminding me of this. Thanks for reminding me of this one. If you know it, you can sing it.
Blackbird singing in the dead of the night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of the night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life.
Right, maybe I have time for one more.
You were only waiting for this moment to be.
All right, maybe got time for one more. Someone asked for this one. I think this was the first request that came in, so let's get to it. Another request for Bob Marley. Can't remember who asked for it, but I definitely saw this one in the chat. Outside Fiona, try and get to that.
Man to man is so unjust.
What you say?
Children, you don't know who to trust.
Requests are coming in thick and fast now.
Your worst enemy could be your best friend. And your best friend, your worst enemy. Some will eat and drink with you. Then behind them sus upon you.
Outside the people in the chat.
Only your friends know your secrets. So only
I see all your lips moving.
Could reveal it.
What you say?
And who that cap fit, let them wear it.
That's right.
Who that cap fit,
let them
wear it. Said I throw me gun. Me no call no foul.
No call no foul.
I say cup, cup, cup. Clap, 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 clap.
You know what? This is my first event of one of these, and before I came on here, I had no idea really what you people would want to listen to. I think I get it now. I think I understand you all now. Someone asked for this one. Wicked tune once again. Hold tight, Fiona. Asked for this one. Want to bless the house, Sanchez.
Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise.
Sing it out.
For it was grace that bought my liberty, and I never know.
Yes, Fiona, good selection.
Just why Christ came to love me so.
Outside Jacqueline.
He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. I shall forever lift mine eyes to Calvary, to view the cross where Jesus died for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise. For it was grace that bought my liberty, and I never know just why Christ came to love me so. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need.
Hey, little girl, each time you pass my way, I'm tempted to touch.
I feel like,
baby girl, I love him all the time.
If you love reggae music, we're going to play a Paris, right?
The dress you wear,
We are one nation.
so much.
Lord of mercy, I need it very, very bad.
Now I
Any lover with me want, you forget, get. Any lover with me want,
Yes,
you
Fiona.
forget, get. Any lover with me want.
One more time around.
Well, you can't go on next to them, you very. You must have to get on, you hear?
Yeah, man, it's a Friday night. We can do this.
Hey, little girl, each time you pass my way, I'm tempted to touch.
Baby girl,
We
I
are
love him all the time,
one
so
nation.
burn.
Oh, baby, the dress you wear, your perfume, keep me warm.
Easy Loxley, doing the cool and deadly.
Lord of mercy, I need it very, very bad.
Now I
Any lover with me want, you forget, get. Any lover with me want, you forget, get. Any lover with me want, you forget, get. You any lover with me want, you forget, get. I could have Patsy, Marcia, and the one princess. All of them come want to kiss off me neck. Come run down, cut the ranking live and direct. And when me come a dance and say me not take no check. Any lover with me want, you forget, get. Any lover with me want, you forget, get. Any lover with me want, you forget, get. Kill you any lover with me want, you forget.
oh, what a night, what a night, what a night.
Oh, we can't play one Paris. Let's play two.
Feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae.
How you feeling?
Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good,
We are
feel
one
good.
nation.
Feel like velvet rubbing over my skin, and when your hair dances on the chin. Wish we were alone, baby, just the two of us. Yes, every move you make gives me a rush. Oh, oh. Wine some more, you show me that love unconditionally. Make believe we're alone, just you and me. Take the problems, leave them behind. Don't let it show. Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, that only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Boy, what a vibe, what a vibe.
Sweet reggae music on a Friday night.
What a night, what a night, what a night, yes, what a night, yeah.
Hear that? We're over to the brand new sounds of Coffee, featuring Buju Banton.
It's real. Do you have any down?
I'll tell the Coffee fans and the Buju Banton fans as well. It's a fresh remix.
Under the pressure, yeah, under the pressure. If your porch up and take away now, we cheat na second cause we all under pressure, my friend. Sometimes when you feel it, you cry down.
Outside Michelle Johnson.
But do not make it stress cause it I feel the better, not feel living at it.
Yes.
Be under the pressure, my friend.
And we born in the struggle, isolated in our bubble. One half for the rich, yet another for the poor. God bless and please help us, we can't take no more. We feeling the pressure, we are down to the core. Oh, money for the and when them send it offshore. And every nation come and get rich and we stay poor. Them show you $20, we go through the back door. Tell them so we can't take no more.
Under the pressure, yeah, under the pressure. If your porch up and take away now, we cheat na second cause we all under pressure, my friend. Sometimes when you feel it, you cry down. I hurt your heart, but do not make it stress cause it I feel the better, not feel living at the ghetto, feel be under the pressure, my friend. Lord have mercy, this can't get no worse. I feel call it a curse, so me heart it and hurt me. Call it thirsty because from me birth to the first me I feel like the father desert me. But when the pressure erupt, me never give up. No, me never give in. And me I send up a prayer, feel the better living. I can't ball, so I better be seen. Under the pressure, yeah, under the pressure. If your porch up and take away now, we cheat na second cause we all under pressure, my friend. Sometimes when you feel it, you cry.
Easy part, enjoying yourself.
Hurt your heart, but do not make it stress cause it I feel be better, not be living at the ghetto, to be under the pressure, my friend.
Right, so I think I've gone over time. I've gone over time. I'm gone over time, but you know what? I'm gonna, with your permission, I might play just two more quick ones, real quick.
We're loving
In fact, I'm gonna play one. And then
play two.
I'm gonna play. All right, I play two, but the last one somebody can request. Put some requests in, and I'll pick one, and I will just play it. Gotta play this one because it's fitting. Track by Coffee called Lockdown. Once again, shout out to all the Coffee fans. Music for the times. Listen up.
Where will we go when the quarantine thing done and everybody touch road? Oh, maybe gonna start, pull up in a fast car, yeah. I know fast start, make you want the fast part, yeah. I know you're feeling me.
Boy, for the final tune, get your request in.
Feeling you. So now we feel yeah. Hey, fancy. Oh, your heart state, now no vacancy. Last time, see you on FaceTime, shutting up the place, but you know my relationship. You go put your on lockdown. Put your body on lockdown. You got me on lock now. Got my person on lock.
One more after this.
If you love me, you should let me. You should
should let me know. And if you don't know, better feel let me, I better you let me go. Pulling up, pulling up. Nobody deal with the bagel and talking. But nothing now, we are chilling in an apartment. You know, mind me, ask where will we go? When the quarantine thing done and everybody touch road. Oh, maybe gonna start, pull up in a fast car, yeah. I know fast start, make you want the fast part, yeah. I know you're feeling me, you know I'm feeling you. So what now we for do, yeah. Say you want trouble, we go whole valley.
All right. You know what? This is one of those times. Let me tell you something about being a DJ, right? Sometimes people ask you for a song and you get confused. And you look like a bit of a fool because you have no idea what they're talking about. And you look like you don't know your music. But you really have to understand, sometimes people just don't know the title of the song and they will just pick a random line or random words out of the song. And then you got to try and figure out what the song is that they're talking about. So I want to say shout out to Pat, who asked for, it says, blessings fall on my right hand. And of course, I had to figure out, what song is that? Blessings fall on my right. I don't know a song called Blessings Fall on My Right Hand. And then I had to dig into my DJ knowledge and figure out she was talking about this.
We are one nation.
Go on with it, but go on with it.
So this is the last one. Gonna have to Pat your request.
Yeah. So we are coming here with a force. Yeah. Blessings we are reap and we coursing on full.
All right, one time. It's Friday night. I want to see everybody up. Get up. Stop. It's Friday night. Everybody get up. If you're sitting down, get up. It's Friday night. We can't go out anymore. We can't go to the clubs. We can't go to the bar. All right, so let's do this. All right? They're not going to take away dancing in our yards.
Go on with it.
They're not going to take that away from us. Do this. Easy, Jacqueline. Yes.
So we are coming here with a
Fiona, love that.
Blessings we are reap and we coursing on.
Pat, dancing in your chair don't count.
Oh, in a rise and boast.
That don't count. Get up.
Yeah, we give thanks like we need it the most.
Easy, Estella.
Like
yes, Tracy. Yes, Michelle.
Blessings.
Yes, Loxley. That's it. Lovely.
Gratitude is a must. Yeah, me see blessings fall by my right hand. But that was with the friends that take off the below one time.
Love it.
Sit down in a class and we board then only say the road and we go on with the road. Third form, me say me try a thing.
Lovely.
And you know it formed up to be a fire thing.
Easy Loxley. And the little one. Looking good.
Like hello, brother. Say I just saw ya. Saw your poster, spectacular photo. Keep it burning, yes, that's the motto. If me the butter pass through your soul to gamble in a life, man.
You're looking good, people.
I have to thank God for the journey, the earth.
Lovely.
Let us for the plus. Yeah. And gratitude is a must. Yeah, me see blessings fall by my right hand. But I toast to the friends with the car.
All right, Pat, are you that?
Sometimes they sit down in a class and we pour them. Only said the road and we go on with it. That's how our blessings upon me. And 7 feet tell them a story. That's how our blessings upon me. And that's how I made it.
Outside Fiona. Outside Sir in the background.
Got the music get me excited. Coming like a potion.
Outside Jacqueline.
Blessings all for my life and but thank God for the journey, the earth.
Yes, Estella.
For the plus. Yeah. And gratitude is a must. Yeah, me see blessings fall by my right hand. But I toast with the friends we take off every load. One time did sit down in a class and we board then only said the road and we go on with the road.
It's the last one. Pat, that young lady beside you sitting down, get her up.
Yeah, we give thanks.
Get her up.
We have to give thanks.
She's got an ankle injury.
Blessings all from life.
We are one nation.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. as well as being really informed as well and educated. It's good to see everybody getting up. They can't take that away from us. We can't do it in a club, but we can do it at home. Yeah, they can't come into a house and say we can't dance in the house. I'm dancing in my bubble. Social distancing. Leave me alone. All right, that's it from me. Pat, I'm going to hand back to you.
Thank you, DJ
Or
Croc. You've been
Loxley or Pat. I'm going to hand
fantastic.
back to you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
You saved our day, because our DJ, that some of you may have seen on the other poster, actually pulled out the last moment, got very stroppy. And this DJ just came up out of nowhere, thanks to Lise, my cousin who's hiding somewhere behind the cameras.
Yes, shout out to Lise.
Yeah, so thank you, Lise. We always complain when we go out with Lisa because she knows a million people and you have to stop to talk to everybody. Oh, hi there. So, Lise, you've really come up trump. Thank you so much. Fantastic. We have to do this again, I think, people. We're not going to talk about all the problems. We're just going to play good music, dance, and have fun.
Absolutely.
Well done. Over to Loxley.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Look out for future events. We'll be hosting many, many more events. And look, DJ Croc, we have to have you back, brother. We have to have you back.
Definitely.
Anytime, sir. I've loved it. As I said before, it's been my first one. I've really enjoyed it. Not just playing the music, but really, it's one of the good things about this, everything going online, is becoming more and more aware of how many wonderful people there are out there doing such wonderful things. So it's good to have something like this where you're bringing this knowledge and these links to the people. So I am definitely up for doing this again. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. Thanks for organising, Captain Loxley.
Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.
You too. Enjoy.
Bye.
I'm sweating.
Bye.
I haven't done so much exercise for a long time.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, DJ Croc. Big up, Loxley. Blessings.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Bye.
Bless.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Bye.
We need you back at UCLH, Jackie. She's gone.
She's gone.
She's gone.
See you.
Bye, hon.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye. Bye, Trace. Talk
Bye,
to you
Tracy.
later.
See you.
Yeah, talk to you later.
This is reminding me of the Waltons.
Yeah, we don't want to go. Good night,
Jump boy.
Bye, bye, Waltons, it's my mum. When she every time she speaks to me, she goes bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, beautiful.
Thanks, Pat. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
We're obviously the diehard ravers who don't want to go in it. We haven't seen so many people.
Always a laugh and leave.
Yeah.
See ya.
Lovely weekend.
Bye.